The New Market area is still that small town feel, even though we're close to the metro area. A lot of our customers are small business owners or people who have been here forever and have grown up with our family.
I think it's so much relationship and trust. I mean, you know, one thing when you're running a small business, if you don't have the trust of your customers, you're out of business.
We've just kind of stayed who we were, true to ourselves, and the relationships that we formed with people have been able to allow us to compete.
We have a lot of family businesses here in Elko New Market, a ton, and I can comprehend, I can understand what their family businesses are going through because we're going through the same thing.
That is the value that we have for our customers. I mean, anybody can go to one of the larger players and have the technology and not ever have to come into a bank. And they probably wouldn't be our target customer. We answer our phones, you know, directly rather than having an automated system. That's something that, you know, there's a lot of people that value that. Started right here in 1905. My great-grandfather came out from the Shakopee, Chaska area to run it in 1911 and then built this building in 1913. And then my grandfather, after he was done with the war, he came and helped his dad out.
And after my grandfather retired, my dad took over as president of the bank and actually started growing it. The bank hadn't grown a lot until 1960. My dad knew that he had to grow it if he was going to feed his family, so he started getting a little more aggressive on it. When he came into the bank, I think it had about $600,000 in assets total. So it was really small, and by the time I got out here in 1975, it had grown to about 2.5 or 3 million. And in 1981, sold me his interest in the bank. Interesting times because we actually out here at that point were fairly agriculturally related, and there was a pretty serious recession in the ag economy back in the early 80s. It is an interesting time to be coming up through banking, 30 years old, and all of a sudden at 33, 34, you're on loan workouts because the economy tanked around you. We made it through that, and in 1988 did a strategic plan and came to find out that Lakeville at that time was about 10 or 12,000 people, and this place was going to boom, which it did. So it gave us an opportunity to expand our horizons and get into Lakeville and start building this thing. So we were fortunate, Laura and I have 2 daughters. My dad never really encouraged or discouraged. It was more or less, you make your decision, which is the same way I approached it with them. But as they got into college, I think both of them decided that, gee whiz, we've got a chance here to keep a family business going. We like that industry, so let's stick with it, and it's worked out that they wanted to be here, which is key.
Being able to be the branch manager here, I think, is even more special than maybe in our other 2 locations. I mean, I was born and raised here, so a lot of these people that are walking in the front door are people that sometimes I've babysat when they were little and that kind of thing. So to be able to see the community that I've grown up with all the time and now being able to do their loans or open their new accounts and stuff, I think it gives that special touch that we like to be able to do.
My sister Karen, she was in an entrepreneur class at the University of St. Thomas, and they had a family business class that invited different family members to come in and take it with you. One of their ideas was to form this council of family members so that you have open dialogue about the business. So we formed a family council and meet somewhat regularly to just talk about the business and what our ownership requirements are and what our dreams are for the business, and then pass that along to the board of directors who takes that and helps govern the business so that there's separation between ownership, governance, and management.
The process started with vision rather than tactics. And what I've seen so many small businesses do is drive their family vision with the tactics of legal, accounting, and those type of things. Whereas we had enough time to really talk about the vision. Where do we want to go with this thing? What do we want it to look like? Do we want to keep it going for future generations?
I love small businesses. I think that they are really the lifeblood of communities, and so I think without community banks, it would be really hard for small businesses to continue to survive.